Trying to find out about age and tonnage of an old Singer air conditioner condensing unit. I understand that McQuay acquired Singer back 20 years ago or so. The model is ACR510481AF and the serial is #E110070. I am needing to replace 4 of these units and it would be a great help to know their size. Thanks. Pete.
Welcome. We keep going until you have all of the information you need. Extensive training and coaching also available. If you can send me a picture of it, with a tape measure in the photo laying on the fattest copper tube that is connected to it, I can verify the tonnage. So far it looks like 4 tons, R22 system. Look on the unit nameplate to verify that it uses refrigerant 22. You can use the paperclip icon above to attach photos. The more the better. We can go from there without a time limit.
It is R22. I'll need to get a pick and measurement. Any info about age?
The unit is too old and has too many company ownership changes to get a reliable read on the serial number. I will be looking forward to the pictures. A person can also get a fair idea of the age from the amount of corrosion on the unit, especially the screw heads.
Phil, I got a message back that my message is too long, probably a problem with size of image. You got an email that I can just attach a PDF to so you can see the unit? By the way, age is not really all that important. Big issue is size. I was hoping that you might have access to the model/serial nomenclature key that Singer used from, probably, the early 1970s. The suction line is 3/4 inch odd.
Thanks for the data. A 3/4 inch suction line does not comport with a 4-ton system. A 7/8 inch odd suction line does comport with a 4-ton system. You may need calipers to measure that accurately. If it looks to be the size of a 3/4 inch galvanized steel pipe, it will measure a but over 7/8 inch odd. 3/4 inch is seen on 2.5 and some 3-ton systems only. The company does not allow direct email contact. It defeats their review and monitoring controls. They do allow phone contact if you opt for an additional service. I will send you one for the minimum $5. If you accept, we can exchange emails. I am sorry about that otherwise. With direct email I might be able to answer some of your other questions about design options as well.
I measured at W/a caliper, 3/4 odd. Okay, found a workaround for the pics. I just found a YouTube video of a unit that looks just like mine. The URL is https://www.youtube.com/watch v=0 each gunk.
Thanks for the video, that is an amazing find. If the liquid line is 1/4 inch it's 2 tons, if the liquid line is 5/16 ths it's 2.5 tons. It looks more like 2.5 tons from here. It's truly amazing those 2 units are still running. It is not a 4-ton unit in that case. It is in the 2 to 2.5 ton range. But that does not fit with the model number, which would have a 24 or 30 number in it. If it's a 2 or 2.5 ton unit, it would be about 24 inches square and maybe 30 inches tall. It would be sized to cool a 1,000 to 1,200 square foot space. The location of its air handler unit inside the building would reflect that. And the liquid line would be 1/4 or 5/16 ths of an inch odd. Let me know what you think. We can go from there.
Thanks, Phil. I'll measure dimensions of unit tomorrow and check the high pressure line odd. I'll also pop the cover on the air handler, see if it tells me anything. Like I said, the video is not mine, just looks like it, and about that old looking. What I have is a pair that is set up as a twin with common return and supply ducts. I've got a R22 leak in one and am considering my options, most likely a leak in one of the dinosaur evap coils. Oh, yeah, in addition to the model and serial, I was able to read 37.3 amp minimum circuit ampacity. Maybe that can help. This is in a portion of a church facility servicing essentially a few small classrooms, an office and a bookstore, half at a basement level and the other half on a first floor with a conditioned second floor above it, conditioned by another pair of these same units.
Hello again. 37.3 circuit ampacity comports with 4 tons as indicated on the model number by the number 48. The suction line size of 3/4 of an inch does not comport with 37.3 amps minimum ampacity at all. We need to reconcile those gross disparities. I am a little fuzzy on exactly which space this one single unit handles, or if it takes 2 of them to handle the space. Can you be more explicitly as to what space exactly is handled by this single unit? An estimate of square footage would be helpful. Usual sizing is 500 square feet per ton. In hot humid climates it's about 350 square feet per ton. And that is without a lot of people in the rooms. People put out about 400 BTU per hour. There are 12,000 BTUs in a ton. We can go from there.
The setup is 2 full units, updraft A/C/furnace/blower, sitting side by side and feeding a common supply duct. Space is 1,776 square feet on the first floor and 1,200 square feet below it in the basement. All is handled as a single zone. Just one exterior door and few windows, with the exterior being uninsulated CMU. Above the ceiling of the first floor is a second floor that is conditioned as a separate zone from another pair of same-sized air conditioners. All 3 floors are part of a ca. 1972 addition to the church as near as I can tell, and I think the AC units may be original, although I can't tell for sure. Since it is not the sanctuary, I would assume the people load would probably be fairly low, maybe 50? But I'm just guessing, as the rooms on the original drawings that I have do not specify room types. I could easily imagine that the system was never fully designed to start with and certainly has no fresh air makeup as code would require today. Anyway, I have the capability to do a full-fledged ASHRAE consistent system sizing, which I plan to if we decide to replace the system rather than just figure out what is leaking, likely the evap coil, and replace it. That said, for the past 5 years, the system has worked effectively and has kept up with demand with no problem. Location is Springfield, Missouri, postal code 65803. I'll send the high-pressure side tubing size this afternoon.
Hello again. The 1776 and the 1,200 square feet add up to a 5-ton zone, which tends to confirm the 2 Singer units at 2.5 tons each. The liquid lines will 5/16 of an inch and possibly 3/8 of an inch if that is true. These are very old systems. I would not spend any money replacing just the coils. If the leak is really slow, you will be hard-pressed to find it. In that case, I would use one of the injectable leak stop solutions that have been getting very good reviews despite some purist comments that it contaminates a system. In this case, it's not possible to contaminate a system on its last legs anyway. http://www.xstopleakbliss.com/
Okay, got the condenser unit measurements. It is shaped like that video. The nameplate side is 32 inches wide by 25 inches tall, and across the top, including the curved coil section, is 37 inches. The liquid line is 3/8 of an inch odd. Makes me think it might be bigger than 2.5 ton based on the rest of your explanations. The line set is pretty short, maybe about 15 to 18 equivalent feet tops. That might explain the small suction line size if it is indeed 4 ton, and of course that would be 4 ton on a really low SEER given how old this equipment is, so it might not be delivering anything close to that.
Hello again. The suction line at 3/4 of an inch nails at a 2.5 to 3 tons max. It's not 4 tons for sure. Based on space size, it's 2.5 to 3 tons as well. The physical size puts it in that size range as well, not 4 tons. Number 4 ton unit ever built has a 3/4 of an inch suction line. It's simply way too small regardless of the length.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit JustAnswer.com/YTHI.